Video 2 of dealing with equipment problems. In this video I am talking about pumps. Firstly, talk about the pump pressure. The pump pressure needs to be kept at around 300 psi for carpet cleaning and around 100 to 200 psi for upholstery. Anything higher than this will cause a number of problems, including overwetting of the carpets, an excessive power drain, and premature failure of the pump will result from over-pressurising. You start heading up towards 600-700 psi, you start to see a number of problems, and it does include the pump seizing prematurely, overwetting of the carpets, and a variety of other dramas that can occur, including splitting hoses and things like that. Don't lie the machine down. This can cause the pumps to leak, and running the machine when the oil seals are gone is a problem. So if the pump's leaking water, then if it runs too long, that can cause a problem. Sometimes the oil seals can go in time. Usually they will go at the same time, so if it's leaking water, the pump seals may be on the way out, the oil seals may be on the way out. So lying the machine down, big no-no, and telltale sign of the seals obviously being gone is it's going to leak oil when it's in use. But often when you lie them down, they do have a bleeder on the back of the pump, and the oil will just simply run out of the pump when they lie down. It's just one of those design things. They are designed so that the oil can get out if it needs to, and occasionally it might drop, sort of a milliliter over a period of weeks. You won't notice it, but it's just so that the pressure inside the pump doesn't get too much. Generally you'll find that it will start as a slight drip and get progressively worse when the O-rings, the water O-rings, start to go on the pump. They're similar to those that we use in the triggers. And we'll just start with a drip, usually where the pump is in the machine, which is towards the front of the machine, near the solution connection, near where you plug the hose in. And it starts as a slight drip, gets progressively worse. We need to change the pump seals approximately once a year. And again, running the pressure too high will cause problem not only with the power shorts but wearing out the pump and those seals. And also the motor that drives the pump and the overwetting and damage that can occur. So keep that pressure around the 300 mark for carpets and 1 to 200 for upholstery. And the other thing, if you're running too high on the pressure, you're constantly filling the water up, so it doesn't really save you any time. With the drive motor, that's the motor that drives the pump. This, over a number of years, can break down after a number of years. The pump may start to run intermittently. If that's the case, it may sort of come on and off. But generally, if you find there's a buzzing when you hit the pump switch and the pump's not running, not making that normal pump sound of the pistons going up and down, the pump may be seized and the drive motor can't run the pump, so that's where you hear that buzzing sound as the motor attempts to drive the pump. Shorting of power is another major problem. Power shorts most commonly because water's gotten into the wiring of the machine. It could be a crack fitting, leaking pump seals, sometimes a crack in the body, which is commonly due to the rough handling of the machine. Although they are very tough, it does take quite a beating to do that. Sometimes it will be a relay. The machines are fitted with relays in order to maximise safety and to isolate the power in the machine in the event of an electrical fault. And switch breakdown can be a cause of failure in the field. The switches, be careful not to bang the switches as you move the machine around, it will break the switch. And often the switch is the problem because it fails to light up when the other switches all light up fine. So when you turn the switch on, there's no light on the switch. Vacuum problems can occur for a number of reasons. If the vacuum motors are operating but you have no suction, there's a number of things to check. Firstly, make sure the gate on the recovery tank is down. We have had calls on this with operators saying that the vac wasn't working and they'd forgotten to push the gate back down after emptying the machine. It's a bit of a beginner problem, but it can happen when you're still learning. Secondly, make sure the ball valve inside the recovery or dirty water tank, the little ball in there, is freely moving about, because if that gets stuck it will cause the vacuum flow to become blocked. Also make sure you don't have crap all over the mesh filter that houses the ball valve. If you keep the recovery tank clean, you shouldn't have this problem. If you're wondering what those things are, because no one's shown you, have a look in there. They're the only things in the dirty water tank. So make sure that your hose isn't kinked and it doesn't have any splits in it. If you walk along and hold the vac hose near your ear, you can usually hear if there's any splits, and it's important that you tape around the hose if there are, because those splits will reduce your vacuum capacity significantly. And also make sure you don't have a blockage in your actual carpet wand or your upholstery wand. Sometimes hair can wrap around the bottom of the wand that actually makes contact with the carpet, and that can become blocked. So have a look in the opening, use a screwdriver or ideally a metal coat hanger to clear that out. And the other way you can lose vacuum is if the machine gets banged around, as I said, and the vac motor comes loose, or the vac mount can even break, which is another reason not to bang the machines around. Another point to make is the heater switch is off, so if that's turned on, the machine won't function properly. If you find there's no power to the machine, you get there and nothing happens when you try to power up the machine, obviously firstly check there's power at the property by flicking the lights, then try a different power point, try a different power lead. If no success, check the power box that all the circuits are switched on. Then if there's definitely power to the machine and you hear a click when you put the power lead in, but the machine switches are still off, it's probably a relay needing to be replaced in the machine. So that covers the main problems that will occur in the field. To summarise, the main points are stay calm, go through the troubleshooting processes, and with minor problems that don't prevent work being done, contact us ASAP, such as something starts to leak or is not operating properly, and follow it up if something doesn't happen immediately. Sometimes the office do get very busy, and it is possible sometimes for things to be overlooked. So we all do our best. We don't expect perfection, but we do all need 100% effort, and the office is there to be a support and a help. So use that resource and don't try and do it all on your own.